invite in the Crystalline Skull Collective to come and do this work with us. Joining us now in our energy and connecting. Wesley, may I speak with your higher self?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Wesley and I have worked together before, and I'm delighted to work with him again. So thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to do this. Wesley has been feeling very tired and drained lately. Can you please let us know what's happening there, why he's so tired?
Wesley's trying to find ways in his everyday life to find that feeling of happiness and contentment in what he's doing right now. There are certain aspects that he feels don't fit to the ideal of what he wishes for, but he pushes that to the side and carries on and sees it as something he must have manifest, and thus realizing he needs to work through it and change it himself with time. What's happening is when he sleeps, the repressions start coming forth in his dreams because they can't be just pushed to the side, and residual emotions are stirring him where he can't control them as much as he can during the daytime. And this leaves him feeling drained and tired.
Is there a way that he can acknowledge before he goes to sleep that there is a conflict, and maybe write the pros and cons down of what he's thinking about that's causing this conflict in his mind and his being, so that he can release that prior to sleep and get a restful sleep until he decides one way or the other?
Yes, he just needs to realize that he cannot control the outcome of how he's feeling all the time. He must follow the flow and face it and realize that with his positive intentions and ideas, he can, in due course, change the actions of his life right now that don't seem to suit. But just trying to repress will only come back through other avenues. And as I say, at night, where he can't control his thoughts, the inner energy, the inner emotions inside come forth and make him restless. So yes, he can sit and start making a list of why he feels like he can, and think about it and accept it and face it, and then we'll be able to sleep much better at night.
So I think you said a key word, accepting it, that realizing that almost like what's happening right now with us, being on lockdown because of the COVID situation, that we have to accept it. We understand that it's happened. Admitting and recognizing those emotions is much easier than trying to suppress them. I think there's a lot of people who are struggling and suffering with that right now, just based on that they're not accepting that, similar to what he's doing with the regression.
That's happening. What we realize is that this is going back mainly to his job situation and his wish and desire to be able to be more creative in their life. That he manifests this situation himself and is already in the process of changing it. Things have changed immensely due to Wesley's own power of the mind. He has felt a need to not be around too many people at the moment due to energy exchange and being highly sensitive.
Right.
And managed to manifest his job so that he can work from home. So the last 2 months he's been working from home alone, and his job situation has been much, much better. He's been much more relaxed and calm and been able to concentrate and learn quicker the things he needed to do that he found difficult in the beginning at the office, where he felt the constant stress because of the feeling the energies of the other people around.
Other people, right.
And even though they're trying to help him and he sees their face of positivity at the front, he can feel the surface tension. And
understanding.
it's difficult for him to learn because he feels the other person's real emotions inside.
Right.
So yeah,
the truth. I completely, I can completely relate with that. Let me ask you this. I know last time we worked on putting a light of protection around him so that he will feel that emotion less when he's around others. Can we brighten that up a little bit so that it won't be as much of a struggle, that he can still pick it up, but maybe not pull it into his being?
yes. And Wesley has actually started using that. When he was at the office, he was using that technique. He kept his 3 skulls with him all the time: Makathon, Tarena, Tanea. They were with him all the time in his bag. He wanted to put them up on display, but felt that it would cause more anxiety with the people around him, so kept them in his bag, but asked for the white light, asked to be protected, and it did help him.
Beautiful. So let's go ahead and brighten that up just a little bit more. And then let's actually send to whoever he works with in his office now and future, that they will have an understanding and acceptance of him for who he is, for his beliefs, his connectivity. And as others start to awaken, they will have a deeper understanding as well, especially in relation to how Wesley is connecting with them, or speaking about things that he's excited about.
He has to go back to the office the 1st of June after his 1 week's holiday. He feels that there will be a positive energy, a good exchange. His colleagues have been saying they've missed him, they're looking forward to him coming back. And in the meantime, they've actually seen his YouTube channel and videos, and this has heightened their positive energy towards Wesley, as they feel that they can see more of the real person who he is, rather than the person that he had showed himself to be at the office.
Right, because we put on, it's almost like, well, similar to what we're doing right now with COVID, right? We put on a mask, and often we do that when we go into our workplaces, because there's an expectation of how we have to look, appear, speak, whatever. So, so that judgment is not happening. We don't want people to judge us. So, so I understand that as well. I feel very limited in like who I am speaking with as well. But, as we're beginning to open up and we've got our YouTube channels, I think that people, just like you said, are having a better appreciation of who we are, the work that we're doing, and the understanding of how that's coming through.
It's very positive. It's helping immensely, and it must carry on.
Wonderful. For both of us doing YouTube?
Yes. Not just YouTube, but the whole energy work, the whole healing in your own special ways. Near or far, you reach people and heal them. Just words, just the energy that flows forth. That is helping people around you everywhere, whether you see it or not.
Perfect. Can you tell me what energy am I pushing through right now? Because it's got me shaking. Is that my own energy?
Sorry.
The energy. I feel the energy moving through my body so forcefully right now that I'm shaking.
Yes.
And
Yes. Wesley's also feeling a density, like he's being pressed down into the sofa on which he lays. But it's a grounding feeling.
Okay.
And a vibration of letting go, actually, feeling more at ease. Wesley's had a high vibration in the body that's been, as we've spoken about, that's been causing discomfort, and it feels like it's leveling out. And I think maybe you're feeling that same vibration being leveled out.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Still moving a little bit. So is that where he was asking if he was blocked and bloated, what that was from? I feel entirely like that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Is it more, or is that it?
Yes, this is a huge part of it, and now Wesley's vibrating highly.
Beautiful.
body. It's also his body is having to adjust to a different way of being every day, sitting at a desk, not moving, not being as active and interactive as he was as cabin crew for 12 years. In that job, he was walking around, moving around, interacting with people and active in a different state. And now the energy is more suspended while sitting around
Right.
and building up.
So here's a thought, something that I've started, because same thing, I feel that energy building up and I feel like it gets trapped in my legs. So because same thing, I have been like having to sit for my job. What I've started to do is kind of march as I walk. So I'm, kind of high knees, and it's easy to do in your own home, where you don't have to feel silly like people are watching you. Not like you're going out for a run or something, but just adding it. So I'm just saying, maybe there's an additional, kind of an activity he can do, even if he's just walking to the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Wesley's laughing very much because you have just connected with something that Wesley actually does in his breaks at home. And does an on-the-spot jog.
I'm reading your mind.
Yes. Lifting the arms up to the sky, and then bending to each side, forward and back and down, stretching out the body. And that does help to release the energy, ready for the next session after the break at work. And he's also started running again, 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, every now and then, and it does help immensely afterwards. So he needs to be using his body much more again as before.
Okay. Good. Very good point. Thank you so much for that advice. He was wondering how long he's going to end up being at this current job. Is that foreseeable?
I think Wesley feels like he's feeling like he was in the other job, where he's starting to, as he learns more, he will start feeling a feeling of settling down in the job and will find a comfort zone that he doesn't really desire to stay in. So at the moment, he's floating along, but wishes for something better because it's still not exactly perfect. But the more he learns, the more he'll feel that he'll reach a comfort zone, but this isn't the zone he wants to be in. So I think maybe a year.
Maybe a year.
And then he will probably find some other avenue.
What do you foresee as opportunities, windows of opportunities at the end of that year? Will it be more something in the gardening field? I don't know. I just said that just because of his love of it, but I don't know that I'm picking that up.
His desire is for nature and something with nature, but he can't kind of get a grip on what and how he should do it. But he would love to do something that is more with nature and the natural realms. He keeps feeling that somehow, some way, he will have some kind of contact through his YouTube in connection with the things that he speaks about on his YouTube. And maybe this will steer him in a direction with a job, and maybe not entirely how he wishes. Maybe it will still be with a company or so, but it could be more in the direction of plants and nature in a way he desires, rather than working in a job for money.
Yeah. Right. I 100% relate for that. I know that I'm very appreciative for my, my 9 to 5, so to speak, job, even though it tends to be longer than 9 to 5. So, but it's, it's the thing that lets us do what we want to do, and then allows me to do these sessions the way that I have been. So, and of course, we were speaking about his YouTube channel growing. Do you foresee a wider audience happening, and what's he going to be doing different that creates a wider audience?
His YouTube channel is going very well. Not long now, and he will be monetized, which has become one of his goals in life, just to have it done, if you understand what I mean. Wesley likes to have missions and goals. It's not getting to the goal. He enjoys the journey, and he knows that once he's reached the goal, he will be searching for another journey. But he likes to be able to cross them off anyway. And that is coming definitely within the next couple of months. So he will cross that off, and then he will be able to concentrate on carrying on with his YouTube channel, and wishes to devote more time to the other aspect of his YouTube channel, which is his crystal skulls, crystals, and channeling ideas out. At the moment, he has so many videos, so many ideas, and sees the nature flowing so quickly that he can't keep up to make so many videos on the subject. And his energy has been low, as we've spoken about, and thus he hasn't felt he's had the emotional depth to be able to do the crystal skull videos as he desires. He doesn't just want to make them, he wants to make them completely and 100% present. And that's why he's been procrastinating, as you can say, or waiting with the crystal skull element of his YouTube channels.
I understand. Would that be an area where he and I could maybe do like a Zoom chat session where we just have our skulls and we just have a connection, and you know, because we have such this great energy between us. It's just so beautiful. I felt it when I was first like seeing his posts on Instagram, and then that's why I reached out to him. But I mean, I just feel like our connection is so dynamic, and I know he feels it as well. So we were trying to figure out, what is our connection? Is it just the skulls, or is there more?
The connection is that you are very alike in your soul being. You're very loving, big-hearted, open-hearted people that wish to and desire to help and give love to others. You are people that wish to be loved and protected and understood, maybe not feeling like you're completely understood because of that, the gifts you have that are quite beyond many around you, even though everyone, as you know, has gifts. There are different levels. And you have so many attachments in your life lines that seem similar in the same moments, same things that have happened, same desires, same ideas. Two different people that never knew each other before, and a connection that's just been made, a match, because you're similar souls. You're similar souls. Yeah.
So we're friend soulmates. We're in the friend zone.
Soulmates. Yes. You have the same energy, the same
energy frequency, right? Energy frequency is how I hear it.
Yeah.
So
I have one more thing about your connection.
Yes.
I think that the connection also is that in a past life or lives, you have worked together and you worked well together. Scholarly, something to do with discovery or scholarly or something like this. You worked together in some way. You knew each other.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Wow. Was that back in the days of Egypt?
It's funny you say that. That's the feeling that's coming forth. It is definitely a place that has that energy. It's not Egypt as Egypt, but it is a place of sand and desert and warmth and the same scripts. Yes, some kind of something like Egypt. Not exactly Egypt, but yes, you're completely right.
Very, very cool. So one of the questions that he also is having, of course, is starting to hit a higher vibrations. He wanted to find out if his spiritual skills are changing.
Wesley's spiritual skills have changed quite dramatically the last couple of years, and the last year especially. I think this is why Wesley has started becoming so highly sensitive and locking himself away from being around too many people for too long. It's become very intense for him. And also it becomes intense if he cannot convey things to people because of worrying about them not wanting to hear what needs to be said and so forth. and just
Right.
feeling certain feelings. Yes. He has insight. He has connections. He does travel to different places in his dreams. He does feel huge amount of energy in his body. It's vibrating constantly. That's why he's having these conflicts and problems. Sometimes he can't find out if it's him or something around him. It can be bigger things. For example, at the moment you have the coronavirus. The effects of this can be having an energetic bombardment on his body. The fear of people's misunderstanding and the fears around these kind of things, even if he's not projecting his understanding on or pinpointing it as that, his body is feeling it anyway, picking up on these vibrations.
I see. Speaking on the skulls, working with them, he was wondering about Stargazer. He's trying to figure out why it's still in Australia. Why he's still in Australia.
Stargazer is his connection to those wonderful people where he had decided to buy his skulls from mainly. Not from different areas in China, but the connection with the people there wasn't this pure loving intent in the feeling from the people where he got the skulls, but he found an attachment to the people in Australia. And it's funny, he decided to buy that skull. It spoke to him straight away and has placed itself on his wood burner in his apartment in energy. It's already with him, and he knows that and has known that. The physical skull is staying in Australia because the people there have needed help and support and an attachment to Wesley. They've also, Linda, she also writes to Wesley. She's not a spiritual person in the fact that she works with the skulls for the lady that has the shop, but she feels some kind of connection with Wesley, and the skull has decided to stay there to keep that bond so that they also have something that is physical, because Wesley already has Stargate in energetic form home. And that's why the skull is staying there for a little while longer, but will be coming home this year.
This year. Okay. All right. Then perhaps in the meantime, while it's still there, every time he feels it energetically, he can just send love and support to those that are needing it, right? Just to support his connection.
Yes. And he already got feedback from them. A thank you for one of his YouTube videos about skulls, where he managed to create connections for those people there through his channel that have bought skulls at their store. So they thanked him for that.
Beautiful. That's actually one thing I've been thinking of, trying to find a place to buy skulls to sell them on my website, that I charge them up because of the work that I do with the skulls directly. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a good connection for us?
Did you want to sell skulls that you have cleansed and charged up to sell?
Yes.
Yes, I think that's a very good idea. I think people will buy from you because they will be able to feel and see your energy, your loving and pure energy intent, and they will feel it in the skulls, and they can see the work you do with the skulls through your videos, and you can convey the messages. And yes, you would definitely be able to sell souls that are charged. I think that's a very good idea.
Thank you. I see that my website is also stagnated. Is there a reason?
Your website and your YouTube, I think you need to get yourself more seen so that people can see you and your energy.
Okay, so more smaller videos.
Yes, let people see you in action with the skulls, explaining and letting them feel your energy as you speak through your skulls, your skull beings. Let your skull beings come forth more and explain. The energy will come out that way.
That's another thing. I feel like I connect with all of them as a group versus one-on-one. Is that the way they're trying to connect with me?
Your skulls would, of course, like to have your attention when you need something or they need a connection with you in some way. One skull at the time should be able to come forth with its energy so that you know which one to work with. Yes, you can work with your skulls as a group, and that's fine, and it will raise the vibration if they are all within the frequency of that you wish to convey and work on. But of course, you can work with individual skulls and let them come forth to you much clearer.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'll start to do that. So we were trying to find out why Wesley's life is as it is now, but I think you covered that. Is there anything more to say?
This is a kind of way for Wesley to realize that he is very powerful and he is manifesting, and he sees it, and he's seeing it already now in the fact that because he was feeling as he was at work, he managed to manifest into his life the ability to work at home for a couple of months and feel how that worked, get himself to a level where he felt comfortable to be able to go back to work and get to the next level with the help of others without the feeling of anxiety that he was having before because of feeling their energies. Now he feels that he's ready to go back, it will be fine. Another thing he's done he has reduced his working hours from 100% to 80%, which has given him one extra day free a week. And he is feeling a higher vibration already due to this, knowing he'll have that day to work in his garden or with his crystals and do the things he desires. So he's already manifesting. He's very powerful. This lifestyle he's created is showing him that he needs to actively use the skills he has. Never sit idle, never just sit in the mind and let the mind and the ego remind you of negativity. You can walk away. And
Just be active.
And it's happening very quickly. Even though it feels slow, it's still happening quickly. With it, Wesley has only worked in that job 3 months, and in that time he has shifted it completely from being stuck at the office to being home to now reducing hours, and he is creating the style he wants to get further into what he wishes, which is more free time. So it is working. He's manifesting.
Beautiful. And we talked about Stargazer a little bit. Why is Stargazer connected to him so strongly? Is it because of the distance?
Stargazer. As soon as Wesley saw Stargazer, it was absolutely amazing. He's a moss agate skull and has a third eye, a beautiful third eye area. And this skull, as soon as Wesley saw him, he threw out lasers of energy, color, and connected to everything around Wesley, what he calls his paradise, his garden, his home, his patch on earth. Connected all the stones and the crystals in the garden and showed a protection of the home and the house and said, I will sit on the wood burner, which is the center, the heart of your home, and I will be a protection, whether near or far. And that skull connects him deeper with nature and being able to tune in and actually speak to nature, the plants, the things around him, like he desires more. He wants to be able to speak to nature much, much more on a deeper level. And that is why Stargazer has become an absolutely amazing skull for Wesley that he actually doesn't need to have in his hands at the moment. It's working with energy.
That's beautiful. I know I'm trying to get a little baby Einstein, a pink tourmaline baby Einstein that I was directed to get and wait for it. Do you see that coming to me this year?
Did I misunderstand? An Einstein?
A baby Einstein. Einstein, the crystal skull Einstein. There's they do similar to what I want to do with selling skulls. They do, and they have a kind of a replica of baby Einstein. They call it baby Einstein. It's not its actual name, I believe it'll tell me when I get it, but I've seen an image of it, and they said out of stock, so I imagine there's a similar one coming, but it's a replica. Do you see that coming to me this year?
It's uncertain. I'm not seeing the clear connection.
Okay. I was also told about a galactic skull. Wesley also have galactic skulls that he'll be working with?
Galactic skulls. It feels like he already has a galactic skull in Stargazer.
Okay.
Stargazer was aptly named Stargazer because he actually connects Wesley with the outer realms and the stars and the universe, and plugs in. That's why he sees these streaks of connections to all the things around him and the protection. This skull is very, very connective. And the third eye, he sees the crystal eye of this skull.
So yesterday you were talking about lasers, and yesterday driving to where I'm at today in Wisconsin, I was looking at the beautiful sunset and thinking about how lovely the colors were, and I saw what looked like a flash of lightning, wide, but it was bright golden yellow. And I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I wanted to say something at the time, like, "Did you see that?" But I knew that it was like I felt like it was my eyes only that I was looking at. What was that experience?
It's like he had the kind of same experience for today, just before he was supposed to come with you. Not in that same fashion, but he saw a white light that kind of lifted the curtain behind him when he was in his bathroom, and felt like it was some kind of shift in energy. You getting a glimpse of a glitch in energy that you have managed to capture in a moment. Is the only way I can explain it. That you've got to see a glitch in the reality, in time, a moment in time.
Cool. That's very cool. So we peeked behind the matrix. Is that what you're saying?
That you could see that your reality isn't just knit together as it seems. Sometimes you can have a moment of seeing a glitch and just think it's a phenomenon of the sky or something of that nature, the sun making a beam or so forth. In fact, you're seeing a glitch. It could be quickly disguised as something else so that you don't realize.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for telling me that. So we were asking about spiritual skills. I have been writing in light language, and I understand that I'm supposed to start understanding what I'm writing. And I know Wesley has looked at a couple of the writings that I have had recently when I started adding color. And what I'm trying to find out is, number one, when will that show up for me? And number two, is that something that Wesley will also be adding to his skill set, light language, speaking, and writing?
Many years ago, Wesley was already doing this, but didn't realize, of course, that it was anything of significance. He used to make pictures like that, and the feelings, the emotion, the energy that came out of it was kind of a guidance, but he didn't realize directly that it was guiding him. But the feeling and the emotion and doing it, making the symbols,
Yes,
switched certain elements in his reality. So when you're making this light language and writing it and looking at the images, you're giving your mind a free moment to interpret your inner thoughts and feelings without words, without language written in like English. It gives you a chance to go back to an innocent state of listening to the true mind. So it's the mind's language. So you can see, for example, he saw your first picture. He saw a kind of diamond shining, which is the beginning of moving into something bigger, a bigger realm, a beautiful realm. And then he could see, and he doesn't know who this is connected with. He feels like it's someone connected to around you, an embryo of an embryo, a young boy that is going to be born or is born. Someone very special, a young child, a boy, so an embryo, thinks it has some connection to your son, one of your sons, or something like that. And it's very beautiful. And then he sees pictures of like music also around. So there's a lot of focus on this, and I don't know if he doesn't know if it's a child that's born or if there's going to be another one born, a boy. He also saw a image of a beautiful being, like a protector, and behind the protector, a snake, symbolizing that there are other kinds of spirits and beings that will try and attach to your protective field and break in and make you
Tired?
bring doubt.
Doubt. And then I imagine then that light language, speaking it that way, is also of the soul.
But Wesley has always created his own languages, kind of for the feeling, for the energy feeling that comes from.
I understand. Should we activate his light language now for him to be able to speak it then?
You can try and see if it works for him. It's not really feeling ready.
Okay, that's fine.
He feels like the edge of it. He can feel feel it, and actually he does do these things when he's alone. Actually,
well, let's ask Stargazer to give him a little extra boost for his vibration to understand it. That it's okay. Can he hear the sounds in his mind?
Yes, because he can hear things like Shamay, 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 That has kind of shocked Wesley. He didn't know where that came from, but it felt good.
Right? That's the soul speaking. And it's such a beautiful release. And that's why I was hoping that he would allow for it to happen so that he could hear himself and then let it flow more readily next time when he feels more comfortable in his own space. Thank you for sharing. I feel that beautiful energy. Thank you. So another question is, why do some skulls have names and others don't?
The skulls in Wesley's collection have come to him through his seeing them and having an instant attachment to them due to certain feelings and frequencies at that moment in time. And he still has those skulls which he enjoys to look at. Some he looks at briefly and enjoys that they're there, just knowing they're there. He loves having them in his collection. And some come forth to Wesley of their own desire when they have a spiritual attachment to them that desires to have a deeper connection with Wesley. Some he has felt have, but he, for some reason, represses them at that moment in time. And it's hard to explain, but it's to do with the color and the energy frequency from the skull. And if it's not right, sometimes he doesn't allow. It has to be an exchange between the two spirits, the two entities, so the skull and Wesley. When the time is right, they come forth, and he's 100% ready, and they will give their name. And sometimes Wesley maybe tries to force a skull because he's ready for that skull, and that's not completely ready for him because he doesn't feel that he needs the skull and the spirit in that time. So that's why there are some skulls with names, skulls with spirits, and some skulls that are just the pure Mother Earth energies. They're all at different levels and they're all at different frequencies.
Wonderful. That's, I'm so glad that you said that. That actually brings to mind. So you're talking about skulls. So when we're looking at the skull, and it comes originally from Mother Earth, right? It's a crystal. Is the being already in the crystal in earth before it gets shaped into the skull? Or does it become the skull, the being join the skull once, once it's got a shape and the being joins it at that time? Or is it before when it's this beautiful crystal in Mother Earth?
There's no one answer to that question, because spirits and beings can choose where they wish to reside. So you could have a skull that looks very nice but has no spirit in it at that moment. It's been designed just from Mother Earth for you to look at, and you can feel the energy of the Mother Earth material in itself. That is one level. But if you have a desire or a wish and you're calling out in some way to the higher realms, then a being could attach to your frequency and decide to come down and work with you in the skull. Some skulls, some materials have entities in them that have decided to reside in them long before a man has seen them. So underground, in the ground, in the earth, there are souls and energies in everything, every rock. It doesn't just have to be a crystal, it can be a rock from your garden. And it's also what you attach to it and how you vibrate together. So some do, some don't, some may have, and then it will disappear. They can also leave. So passion for you to look at and enjoy and get and create your frequency, and then a being can come into the skull because of your intention. It's easier sometimes with a skull or a crystal, but it can also be another piece of Mother Earth, and you can also still get that frequency. They have frequencies and can still have an attachment. So there's not one answer to the question.
Understandably. Is that why some people are afraid of the skulls when we talk about we're hearing them communicate?
Yes, some people are afraid because they're afraid of realizing that it's real and it's true. And those that are confronted with the skull and then someone says that the skull speaks or so forth, if they can't feel it because they're blocking it, that makes them afraid. And then the fear energy builds up, and it's them, not the skull, but they attach it to the skull. And
Gotcha.
some people feel an energy or something from the skull that they don't understand because they haven't worked with it in that way, and that frightens them because they don't have, and they're confronted with it all of a sudden, they don't understand, and that can frighten people in any situation.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So Wesley is wondering if he can enhance his ability to communicate with his skulls. I think he's doing splendidly. Maybe it's more that he wants to enhance his ability with like the nature elements or elemental beings. Does he work with elemental beings? It's kind of a twofold question. Sorry, I'm bombarding you.
The problem for Wesley is that not that his abilities with his goals and that is completely is very heightened. It's that he is impatient at times and tries to force himself upon the skulls, as we spoke of before. If
Right.
it is 50-50 match, then it will not happen. You can't force upon your skull, and your skull cannot force upon you.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
beautiful. I love that. I love that.
yeah, and
Because there's definitely days where I'm like, oh, I feel more connected to this. Like I just want to kind of carry them around with me sometimes. So yeah, I guess that is showing me then that I'm a match with that vibration. So
I can say that the skull that Wesley is holding today, cast eye, Wesley hasn't actually taken him out of his cabinet for a while, but this skull is always calling to Wesley to cuddle him and hold him and have him around him, because he actually helps Wesley get to that level that he's always desiring, which is this slowing down the vibration that is making him this nervous anxiety. This skull is actually the best one for Wesley. That's why he's here now. Harmed Wesley's energy field.
So when he goes back to work, instead of the three skulls that he's been bringing, should he start to bring him with him? Bring Karzai with him instead of Mechathon? And
yes, he maybe should, but some way it's a funny relationship Wesley has with Cast Eye, and that's because he feels that he is to protect Carl's eye. He feels like Carl's eye is such an innocent, loving, beautiful, caring skull that he doesn't want to put him in any kind of danger. And at the same time, the skull just wants to love Wesley and be near him because he knows he has what Wesley needs.
Well, maybe there's like a soft packaging box. He'll just have to put it in his backpack with that extra foam packaging so that it can travel.
But this skull is very good for Wesley, actually, Carl's eye. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful to know. Thank you, Karzai. Does Karzai have anything to say to him at this time?
Carl's eye is always, he's just saying that he can feel that he's helping Wesley a lot to just feel relaxed and calm and enjoy the moment and feel good. It's all about, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that he's here to assist with that today.
Yeah. And he smiles and just feels this calming energy.
Beautiful. Can Wesley get to actually see his spiritual guides?
Desires, very much. He has managed to, a couple of times when he has managed to calm himself down enough to be able to go into the realm of his mind where he's seen a couple of his guides in his mind's eye that have been able to stand before him. Very often it's hard for Wesley to do so because he doesn't, he finds it hard to calm down enough at that level, even when meditating. He finds it hard to just release that last, detach from the physical realm enough to, yeah, that's the thing. He needs to.
Is Wesley astral traveling then at night?
He does, yes. He does travel around. He travels around within the earth realm. He flies around. He overlooks, floats and drifts around, kind of like spreading energy, but he's working all the time.
Yeah, I relate to that.
Yeah.
I resemble that remark. Oh gosh. So I know I struggle with the same thing, and I think it's the same thing. I think it's that ability or inability to quite let go of the physical world, to just go. Because I know that I've been working with my third eye to try to see pictures and images, and we have been doing. And interesting that you brought up working with kind of a larger group, because I've been working with the Earth Healing group, and we meet every day at about, well, for my time it's 4:00. In the UK it's later, like 10:00 I think at night. But when we work, I feel that my energies have changed and improved, and I will see images, but I don't know if I'm zoned in so close to a microscopic level that I'm looking at atoms or exactly what I'm seeing. And I just am trying to get the picture when other people are saying, oh, I see us all holding hands, or I'm looking and I can see hearts placed around the earth, those kinds of descriptions. I'm like, well, how come I can't see stuff like that? So any recommendations on what I should do to get to that point too?
I think you and Wesley have the same. It's not a problem. It's a problem for you. You feel, but it's not. It's because you have other heightened senses, but not everyone can have every sense or every ability. So you may not be able to see things as you wish, and you're forcing upon that. But remember, you have so many other talents. Your bodies are so in tune and so connected to much, much more than just having to see a picture of or a mind's eye of something or somebody. Your body is telling you in its own vibration, a vibrational picture. It's not important for you to have to see, feel like you're seeing a physical guide or a physical thing, because your body is speaking so much more to you than it is to many of the others in your group, actually.
Really? Oh.
So that is
Oh.
why, yes.
So when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's right. Because there was a part where we were doing the healing, and I literally could feel from like my heart, it felt like a ball rolled up like from my heart to my high heart. And then I was trying to connect to that, and I was like, wow, did anybody else feel that? Like that was like really powerful to me, because I had to touch even though my eyes were closed and I was trying to meditate, I had to put my hand on my chest, and I was like, what am I feeling? Like, what, did something fall, or like, what is that that's rolling on me? I wasn't sure. I was confused. And then I got up and I was like, okay, that like was a very physical sensation that I know that I experienced. I know I experienced it. And I, I've like worked with energy for spoon bending and that. And so I am familiar with working energy and like what it feels like. So when I felt that, I was describing that. And then one other person said, yeah, I kind of felt something too after you said that. And then I realized that that's what I had felt. But they didn't feel it like, it's like you were saying, like not as strongly as how I was feeling. And then I was trying to like verbalize what that meant. And I don't really know if that was just Mother Earth saying, okay, yes, I'm connecting with you, not just in your heart, but in your high heart. That's kind of what I like tapped it, quote unquote, tapped into. Can you get a sense of what that was? Or I guess, we're always looking for affirmations, right? That doubt. You're saying get rid of the doubt.
It's your body's reaction, the energy field and reaction to the sensations of what's going on in the group and with you at the time. But because your body feels that is other-realmly, but in a very physical way in your body. That is the picture that you're looking for when you say that you wish you could see the hearts or the person or so forth. The picture is the feeling that you get, and it's very real and very physical for you, where another person may not feel those things that you say you feel, and they get a picture of it instead.
Wow. I see how you mean.
What it was, I can't say specifically, because that was part of your energy zone in that time, what was happening around you and your connection to whatever you were speaking about at the time.
Right. And we were doing the healing for Mother Earth. So that's beautiful. Okay. Thank you for that more clarified understanding. What
is a root, like if you think of a root of a tree, like a growth in you, like an attachment in some way to your desire. That is your desire to help Mother Earth as well. It's like a root attachment attached itself to this, growing, and you're doing good. That was kind of a signature of, it's something that feels like
it was like a trophy.
yeah, feels kind of some kind of affirmation of what you're doing in the group.
That's beautiful. Thank you so very much. That touches my heart a lot. One more question, and maybe he's already tapped into this. We have been working with my other group on accepting, knowing, and activating our key. Has Wesley done that?
Activating your key?
Yeah.
Which way do you mean activating your key?
His key. So his key is all of his spiritual gifts that actually are available to him. That it's got a frequency signature itself, a shape, a form, and that it's his to use for his highest and best good.
Yeah, no, he's not been attached to a key or so forth. Wesley's been very much with his spirituality, that he enjoys that the things he can do are natural, and yes, he can help others and so forth. But he hasn't been very forthcoming with researching or reading books or wanting to learn about spirituality, because he feels that these things that flow are wonderful and natural. So yes, maybe the key is for Wesley that these things are coming more to light the older he's getting. So the wisdom he already has inside him, and he actually in some way knows, is just being enlightened more with his connection to the higher being and the outer realms, and realizing that he is in a physical matrix reality, which is the real reality, and he understands more in every moment that this is just an experience of a higher being having an experience through his ego, body, and mind connection, which is very confusing to understand. But yes, so he does. The answer is yes, but he doesn't realize it.
Okay. Let me ask one more thing, and then I think we're about ready to wrap up. Does Wesley have any DNA or new downloads that he has available to him? Any DNA upgrades or new downloads available to him?
I can just say that Wesley had an experience the other day. I think this was something that he felt that he missed, which was connected to this, and he got a number sequence that came to him, and he realizes that often, many of his dreams, or when he's awake and he gets a message or so forth, he doesn't write it down very quickly, it disappears. And he didn't write it down quick enough, but he did get a number sequence a day or two ago, and he missed writing it down, and he's hoping it will come back to him. But I think that was something to do with some kind of upgrade that he's ready for. So he needs to just take it seriously and attach to it. It comes fleetingly. I cannot go forth and take that. I can see some numbers, but it needs to come to Wesley at the right moment. That there is a number sequence, which is to do with an upgrade of, one of his questions earlier, spirituality and his body upmaking, the makeup of his body. Yes.
Okay. Are there upgrades available for me at this time?
I just got a flash of white light, just pure white light, but no answers. Pure white light.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, we know it's a frequency match, right? Those are the important things to know.
The white light is a message in itself that yes, there is, but it's not for me to reveal.
Right. Wonderful.
I think this subject touched me for both of you. Hello?
Is there anybody else? Yes, hello, I'm still here. Are you still connected?
The frequency, I think, is disconnected because you're touching on a touchy subject that you both need to take the message when it comes to you in the frequency that it comes at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It will
2
come
thumbs
back,
up.
and you have white light. I see the white, just a flash of white, beautiful. So yes, the answer is obviously yes.
Wonderful. Is Wesley an angelic being?
Wesley is an angelic being. He is, yes, he's an angel of people. He is an energy. He's not an angel incarnated as an angel. He is an energy being of love and light. So yes, it is like an angel, but not in the way that you're thinking of it, I think.
Wonderful. Are there any messages available at this time for the collective?
Yes. One big important thing that you all need to know is that this coronavirus is much more of a fear-based factor corrupting the human psyche than a physical reality. And you must understand that it is here to just open people's, awaken people more to looking and realizing that nature and that is around you is important, and starting to take it seriously. What is happening is you are giving a moment in time to look at what's happening to nature around you because of the slowdown in human activity. The slowdown of human activity is giving space for the nature and the wildlife and the energy to flow clearer. And people are starting to see and realize that. And we hope that this will help humans to keep on the same track and not just revert straight back to the way things were. This virus is a positive moment in time, if chosen to be seen positively, for you to see that if you slow down your activities, you will be able to get back in balance with nature much quicker than you realize. Don't see it as a negative factor, a fear factor, because that is slowing down your collective ability to go beyond the dark cloud that seems to be over you, and just realize this is a lesson in time, that once you have learnt it, your world will be a better place.
Thank you. We have been saying that same thing here, that we've been taking so much more time in nature, and that we feel that it's not as contagious as it seems. Are there any last parting messages that you have for Wesley?
Yes, Wesley needs to do this, what he's doing now, more, and I mean in a meditative state. He is feeling at the moment the most relaxed he's felt for a very long time. More just in himself, just really enjoying the feeling of the moment at the moment. And this is what he's been searching for. And so he needs to really give himself to go into meditation, go into relaxation, go into the now, and just take his crystal skulls like cast eye and accept the energy flow. This is, yes. So he thanks very much for that. His body, his physical body is feeling very healed at the moment.
Do you have any last messages for me as well?
We would say to you that you have an amazing ability to heal just through your calming nature and connecting people to the higher realms and their higher beings themselves. And really encourage you to carry on doing so. But please be mindful not to promote yourself in job situations that could cause you to use too much of your energy, that takes you away from this wonderful gift that you have. Be mindful of your mind and your body through that you have to do as a human being to survive, of course, but a balance, keep a good balance. And don't push it too much, don't expect too much, don't try to force gifts that maybe aren't yours to have, but realize more those you have and carry on working with those, because you have amazing gifts. And we're feeling it so much at the moment. This session has actually healed the buzzing energy block that he's been feeling for a while. Just being able to connect on a deep level.
I'm so pleased to hear that. I really am. Is there anything else, or do you think that we have wrapped up this session? I know he's not going to want to come up.
At the moment, we could just all day in this feeling. It's absolutely wonderful.
Any additional guidance, or is there anybody else that wants to come through before we wrap up?
Wesley just needs to look out like he used to do before. He's just been asked by certain spirits around him to just look at those moments where he sees things have moved, or like he saw today. He saw a glimpse of the curtain behind him with the white light shift, and thought, oh, that was just something, but then realized that it was more than just something. Those moments remember those and see them, and because those moments are giving him a sign and a boost and changing his frequency, because they're reminding him that he's gifted. And the same with you. So when you see those moments, like you saw the flash of light and you saw the glitch, I would say to you, you saw a glitch in your matrix reality. Magical moment for you.
It was it was. I felt like I had stepped off of into like flying around with the Lost Boys and Peter Pan. Yeah. It's very magical.
Helping us to connect with Wesley and yourself. And I would, encourage you to continue collecting more skulls that come to you, that speak to you. And yes, going back to your question from earlier, please do speak to your skulls individually if they come forth, and go into a deeper contact with each skull, because they are different entities that have different elements for helping you in different aspects of your life. That's why you have all the different skulls.
Okay, I will reach in more internally for that to work with them more closely. It feels beautiful. Okay, I'd like to thank everybody who joined us in this spiritual realm. Archangel Metatron, Raziel, for coming and assisting Archangel Michael, Wesley for your higher self, spirits, guides, all the beings that are within our skulls that are here now and those to come. So, which they're coming. I ask you to go ahead and slowly wiggle your fingers. Come back to the knowing of your feet, your legs, your awareness. Back to your ego self, awake. Take your time.
Oi!
Hi!
I must say that for absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So relaxing. Oh gosh, I haven't just relaxed like that for a long time.
I am so excited. And the day has turned beautiful. So we're like wrapping up at just the perfect time. You just had so many amazing things come up. The blocks that were there are nicely cleared. But I was wondering how you were you seeing like visual images during any of that aside from the white light?
Actually, for me, it's more like I see the energy speaking to me, kind of. It's hard to explain. It's because I don't see images like that. I see the feeling of the energy. The energy speaks to me. So it's like when I'm speaking to the skulls, for example, I can get images of things, but I get the images through the feeling of the energy.
Yeah.
That's
I know what you mean. I was meditating the other day, and I had my eyes. First off, I had a hoodie over my eyes. I had my eyes closed, and then I was like pressing on my eyes. So there's no way that I could see anything happening in front of me, but I was aware of activity. So while I was meditating, I was kind of like seeing like rays of light during this meditation. And then my son happened to I heard the door open, and he came in and he walked in my field of vision. When he walked in my field of vision, I saw this a shadow passing. So I saw his energy pull into my meditation, that there was no way I could see a shadow, but I saw it come across me. So it was just that energy coming, so I felt it push into my auric field. And I was like, wow, what was that? But it was cool. And I was surprised by it. I had never experienced that before. So that was another one of those moments where they said, recognize when they happen and enjoy them, right? Enjoy them, that these are our gifts. So
they actually do. Those moments are there to actually raise our frequency and our spirituality, because I feel like when I see things like that move or whatever, and shunning it off as just being something or other, allowing it to come in, it changes your energy frequency very quickly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
So
their way of changing your energy frequency and helping you.
yeah, it's, to me, it's amazing. It's just like, it's so cool. So
Mhm.
I thank you so much.